welcome to your reading. So your next glow up. You're starting off really, really strong with the Death card. So this will be a profound transformation. And even if we jump and take a look at your Astro Dice, we see Pluto represented. So this is Scorpio energy. And then with the Death card, we have Scorpio represented again. So this is a really, really big transformation. So this isn't a little glow up. This is a big glow up that you're due for. So we have the Death card. We have Knight of Cups, which is water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So again, more Scorpio energy coming up for a third time already in your reading. We have I consume only my fair share, perform a random act of kindness. We have motivation and manifestation. Also with your Astro Dice, like I said, we have Pluto, but we also have Libra, which is Venus energy, and we have the second house, which is associated with Taurus, which is also associated with Venus. So you have Venus coming up a lot too, which is the planet of love and beauty and aesthetics. And so a lot of changes happening, but all very positive. So I'm going to try to keep this as organized as possible, but because this is a big glow up, a lot of messages are coming through right away. I will say with the Death card, this is emphasizing, yes, a big transformation, but it's also telling me with Scorpio energy, with the Death card energy, this is you sort of coming out on the other side of a deep healing journey, a deep spiritual journey. So this is you sort of reaping the rewards here of that hard, long process. And I mean, it's not to say you've reached a point where you're perfectly and totally healed and everything's great. It's not saying that. It's just that you've reached a place in that journey where you have done a lot of work. And it shows. It shows. With that Knight of Cups in particular, the way that she's looking over her shoulder, especially with it being next to, I consume only my fair share. I feel like part of this glow up is that you have better people around you. You have connections where, or you start to attract connections where you have equal, or it's about as equal as it can be, give and take. And you know, in any kind of relationship, is it always exactly 50-50? No. You know, sometimes someone may be going through a hard time and you put in 70% when they put in 30 because you're being a listening ear for them, you're being a rock for them, you're holding space for them, you're giving them advice, you know, any kind of comfort they need. But when they start to feel better, maybe you go through a hard time and then maybe it becomes a 60-40 situation, you know, so it does fluctuate. However, if we were to average it out overall, it should look pretty close to 50-50. And you should feel like, yeah, like when we both need help, the other person is there, you know, vice versa kind of thing. So I feel like this goes for friendship, that goes for family, it goes for romantic connections. It's just like, I feel like overall, not that every single relationship in my life is perfect, but I do feel like in terms of my social circle, I do have a support system. And even if I don't have a complete support system, I am able to build it. And I'm able to, as I'm building it, maintain those connections. Because I've come to a place in my healing journey where I can assert myself and where I can recognize where I need to hold boundaries, how I need to hold them, all that good stuff. So I feel like that's a really important part of this glow up. Now, I will also say there is a big change for you physically because we have Libra, we have that Venus energy coming in twice, and I really feel like that's a big part of this, especially with all of this water sign energy as well. I feel like you just feel more free. You feel more connected to your feminine side. And even if you're a man watching this, I just feel like you are investing more in your physical self-care. You're investing more in it and it's showing. And I think that because you are mentally and emotionally feeling better, you know, with you reaching that place in your healing journey, but then also investing more in your physical self-care, that's creating that glow. That's creating that glow. So if we also look back at this I consume only my fair share card, you know, I also feel like you're eating healthier. I feel like you are being more mindful of your spending, and I think that you are budgeting more effectively so that you can invest in physical self-care that matters, but then you're not sort of overspending just to buy something. So maybe you are revamping your personal style, but you're not going out there and buying a ton of fast fashion or just buying a ton of stuff that you know you're probably not going to like in maybe a year or two, or that even as you're trying it on in the dressing room, you're like, can I pull this off? You know, and then you're buying it anyway, and then you hang it up in your closet and it just sits there until eventually you get sick of looking at it and you donate it to a thrift store. That's not happening. So it's like, and I'm jumping around a little bit with the second house being represented here. I do think financially things are better for you, but I think a part of that is that you're being wiser about where you're investing your money, how you're spending your money. And so I think that if you are revamping your style, which I think that's a big possibility for some of you, you're not doing it in a way where you're buying a whole bunch of stuff that you're going to be tired and bored with, or that you're not actually going to wear. So it's more about investing in like quality, classic pieces, classic for you, classic for your personal style that you're going to get a lot of use out of and that you're actually going to wear. And I do feel like, you know how some people buy those like capsule wardrobes, or they buy these like basic sort of pieces that can be mixed and matched? But then the way that they accessorize it makes it look like a really unique, cool, different outfit, even though they're sort of recycling the same, instead of buying like a bunch of statement pieces, they're buying a bunch of basics, but it's the way they mix and match, the way they style it, that makes it suddenly look like they are wearing a statement piece. And because I'm really drawn to like her hair bows, her earrings, the braid she has in her hair, the little patch that she has on her arm. So I think it's about how you're accessorizing. So I think that, and even her like her knee-high socks there with the lace. So I feel like you could be, instead of going out and buying like a totally new wardrobe, it's like, I'm gonna buy some foundational pieces, but then put my money towards accessories so I can make those foundational pieces look like unique outfits, you know, that kind of thing. So I definitely feel like there's a lot of changes. Just to summarize, because I know I've jumped around a lot. Mentally, emotionally, you're feeling a lot more stable. You're feeling a lot better. I think just overall your mood is lighter. You may have cut some people off or distanced yourself from some people, but I feel like there's space in your life for you to start building that positive support system, and you are attracting the kind of relationships that you want. So we're starting this process, and you're able to maintain those new connections in your life, so you have that, you know, support system that you need. And then moving on from that, I think financially things are better. Now you may be making more money, yes, but I think a bigger part of it is that you're being wiser with your spending habits. I feel like that's a really big thing. It's just coming up a lot with this I consume only my fair share card. And then I think you're making some basic healthy lifestyle changes, investing in physical self-care. So I know when we think about physical self-care, maybe our minds immediately go to eating better or exercising, and that can definitely be a part of it. But I think also we can talk about skincare, you know, and we can also talk about sleep hygiene and things like that as well. I will say also, I feel like we've talked about this glow up being a dramatic transformation, but I think what I need to make clear is that a lot of this is you making small changes that are going to have a massive impact in the long run. And so it's not like you wake up one morning and you're totally different. It's more of you feel motivated, and we do have the motivation card here. You feel motivated to really start small, and then you build and you build and you build. And small changes can have a big impact. If we stay committed, if we stay disciplined, if we stick with it for long enough, we get to see those results if we don't give up. And I think with the Death card, there's a real tenacity to Scorpio energy. It's fixed water. There's a real tenacity there. There's a sense of, I've decided this, so this is what we're doing. You know, there's no flakiness like you would maybe get if we were tapping into like Pisces energy. No offense to Pisces, but there's a committed energy with Scorpio because it's fixed water. And so with this motivation card here, give yourself some credit, because a lot of this glow up has to do with you taking the initiative, you making these small changes, and then over time you see, wow, this is a massive glow up. Small changes, if done consistently, can lead to massive change. And even if we move beyond just talking about habits, so even if it's just you deciding, okay, I haven't really been happy with my bedroom for a while. It just kind of feels like kind of bleh. You know, I don't really like the decor in here, or I feel like, you know, I used to be into this stuff, but I'm just not anymore. This isn't really my style. It just doesn't feel comfortable. And even if it's just like small irritating things, like let's say the knobs on your dresser drawers are loose and they're kind of ugly, and you know, they kind of irritate you every morning when you're trying to get your clothes out of the dresser, but you just haven't done anything about it. And you keep thinking, I need to change the knobs out, I need to change the knobs out, and you just haven't done it. And then when you finally get around to doing it, you feel, and it's usually such an easy task, right? Like we can put it off, but when we actually do it, it's really not that bad. It's like the anxiety and the guilt of putting it off is so much worse than just actually doing the thing. And so, you know, you finally change out your dresser drawer knobs, and it just makes your mood so much better in the mornings when you're trying to get ready and you don't have dresser drawer knobs falling off everywhere, and you don't have to look at them and how ugly they are when you're sitting in bed. You know, like something small like that. You make a small change, and maybe it's something you've been procrastinating on, and then you just feel so much better for it. And, you know, even that small little change that you make in your space, design-wise, can have a big change on the aesthetic. And so then you're looking at it and you're like, you know what? Like those knobs look really pretty. And let's say, I don't know, you change out the knobs and you buy ones that have a floral pattern on them, and you're looking at that floral pattern and you're like, you know what, I'm kind of into that. And then before you know it, over time, piece by piece, you have redecorated your whole room inspired by that floral pattern. So maybe you have more florals in your room, maybe you bring in fresh flowers, maybe you're inspired by the color palette, and so you start buying things with those colors, and the whole room just changes. The whole tone, the whole vibe of the room changes over time, and you feel so much happier being in that space. And that's really kind of a personal example, because I've done that. I've redecorated a whole room based on just like a little trinket dish that I liked one time, and it wasn't like an intentional thing, but I realized I kept looking at that little dish and I liked it so much. And it was something about the style of it, it was something about the color palette of it, and I just started buying things that reflected that. And then over time, or even doing like little DIY projects with stuff I already had, it just changed the whole space. So it's not even just talking about small changes with your habits, it's just talking about small changes you can even make around your home, around your personal space, or to your personal style, or even to like your looks, your appearance. You know how some people, like, if you go and you get a new haircut and you're like, I really love this haircut, but I don't feel like my hair matches my clothes anymore. You know, like sometimes that happens. Like maybe we used to dress in like a classic, I don't know, sweet way. And then we go and we get an edgy haircut. Well, now my clothes aren't really matching up with my hair anymore. Or the same thing if you change the color. It's like, well, I used to have brunette hair, and so these colors looked good on me, but now I've dyed my hair fire engine red, and those other colors I used to wear don't look good on me anymore. And so before you know it, you're, you know, changing the whole color palette that you tend to gravitate towards when you go shopping. So, you know, or you start wearing things in your closet that you used to not wear because it didn't look good with brown hair. But now that you have this bright red hair, you're like, oh, that green sweater looks really, really good on me. Things like that. Not saying that brunettes can't wear green because I wear green so much, but y'all get what I'm saying. Okay. Now with this, perform a random act of kindness. I feel like this is really talking about your mood. This is talking about your mood. You're so much happier. You're so much lighter on a day-to-day basis. And when you feel that way, you have more to give to other people. If you're waking up every day dreading your life, it takes every ounce of willpower you have to get out of bed in the morning. You are just either like forcing a smile throughout your day, kind of white knuckling it, or you are grumpy, mad at the world, whatever the case may be, but you're not feeling that great. So I feel like this is really speaking to like your mood, being happier, being lighter, you being able to be more generous. You have, you know, you've given more to yourself, so now you have more to give to others. But I also feel like the universe is kind of going to be surprising you. And I feel like it comes from them being proud of you. You know, your guides are really proud of you. They're proud of your progress. They understand, recognize, acknowledge that death card, the healing journey that you have been on hasn't been an easy one. You've been through some stuff. And so they're like, you know what? Let's bless group one with almost like little tokens of encouragement. Let's give group one some lucky breaks here and there. You know, some little gifts from spirit to kind of pick you up and to encourage you to continue this glow up process. You know, and so you may find that people suddenly start giving you a lot of compliments. And that comes from spirit kind of using them as a vessel because they want you to know that they're proud of you and they see you and they're happy for you. Or you may find that you just get like small little lucky moments throughout your day. Like maybe you hit every green light on the way home when usually you hit every red light. And it's just small little things. Someone unexpectedly buys you a gift. I remember there was a time frame when I was working at my last clinic this was a couple jobs ago, way back when I was in Georgia. And it was like a period of, I don't know, maybe like 3 months or so, where I swear to you, everyone in the office kept buying me a gift. And it wasn't my birthday, it wasn't Christmas, they weren't buying things for anybody else, they were just buying things for me. And it was so bizarre. And it was all cat stuff for the most part. But I remember like my boss, she bought me a cat tarot deck. The receptionist bought me a pencil cup holder and like my favorite mints and a candy dish. And then my other coworker, she bought me a candle, and she also bought me the wax melts. She bought me wax melts too, and a candy dish. And then one girl I worked with, we didn't even like each other. We did not like each other at all. She even bought me a packet of like cat sticky notes and cat pens. And then the nurse bought me like a cat travel mug. It was like the most bizarre thing. Like everybody was buying me stuff. And I was like, what is this? You know? And it wasn't like all at one time. Like I said, it was spread out over a couple of months, but it was just so funny to me. And I was like, is this... And I could understand if it happened in maybe a couple weeks, maybe they had like planned it or something, but it was so spread out over those few months. It was just like, oh. And so I just, you know, after a while, I stopped questioning it and was like, thank you. But yeah, I feel like maybe Spirit had something to do with that, because, you know, I needed a boost at that time, and it definitely gave me a boost. So could be literally people just starting to buy you little things here and there. And I think that also happens when we start to be more receptive. You know, when you're more receptive and open to receiving, and you don't feel guilty about it, or you don't feel like, oh, now I owe them something, and you just accept the gift for what it is and express gratitude, I think you start to, you know, get more because you're more receptive to receiving. Now with this manifestation card, I feel like this is one of the best cards you could have gotten, and that's why I kind of saved it for last as we were talking through your cards here. And it's funny because if you look at your spread, it's like Spirit saved it for last as well. But anything that you have been manifesting, so this is a more specific message here, but anything that you have been manifesting for yourself, anything that you have been focusing your intentions towards, any dreams that you've had, any goals that you've really been focused on, anything that has been kind of dominating space in your mind of like, I really want that, or I wish that were true, anything that you've been praying about, saying affirmations towards, that's part of this glow up. So I can't tell you what that is, and you know, you watching this group one, you should know what that is. You know, like if this were my reading, I know a few things that would immediately come to my mind. Like I've been very focused on my pregnancy. So like my manifestation would be like, you know, a healthy baby and a smooth delivery and, you know, all that good stuff. So just kind of think on this, and, you know, it may be something you've subconsciously been manifesting. So, you know, have awareness now, have awareness about what's been taking up space in your mind, because where your intention flows, energy flows. And so that will be manifesting as a part of this glow up. But we're talking about a glow up, so this is going to be a positive manifestation, right? I'm so sorry, group one. Somehow I had put these cards to the side and I forgot to include them in your reading. So you're going to see a jump cut. I'm just going to have to kind of cut, copy, and paste this in. But we have Judgment and we have the Seven of Swords here. And I feel like with these two cards, it's a pretty simple, straightforward message that's coming through here. It's saying this glow up is a part of your good karma. And I think with you having so much Scorpio energy there in your reading, this is really talking about you have healed from this Seven of Swords. You have done the hard work. You have learned whatever lessons you were meant to learn. You have carried yourself with grace throughout this healing journey. You have really up-leveled. And, you know, you didn't become the people or the person that hurt you. And that is something to be incredibly proud of, because hurt people can hurt people. But you didn't fall into that trap. You didn't become the person who hurt you. And I mean, we see that a lot, right? We see that a lot. Unfortunately, for example, and I apologize because I know this is a dark example, but I think it's a good one. When people grow up in abusive households, sometimes they go on to become abusive themselves. And it doesn't have to be like that, because so many people grow up in abusive households and end up being compassionate, wonderful, empathetic people. And so it doesn't have to go that way. And I think you are someone where you decided you weren't going to go that way. You weren't going to become the person who hurt you or like the people who hurt you. And with the Seven of Swords, I mean, This is a tough energy. It's a tough card. It's one of the hardest cards in the tarot. I mean, this is where someone has stolen from you, and even if it wasn't that they physically stole something from you, maybe they stole your sense of security. Maybe they stole your sense of safety, your sense of personal safety. Maybe they stole your sense of, did I say peace? Maybe they stole your ability to trust other people because they lied to you, they cheated. But they've taken something from you, and they acted in a way that was very, very self-serving and that did not care about how you felt or how they were hurting you. They were just taking what they needed from you and running away. This is also a card about abandonment. And so you didn't let this linger in your energy. You healed from it, you dealt with it, you've accepted it for what it was, and you haven't let it hold you back. And you haven't gone and hurt somebody else to make yourself feel better. And so that's something that's being rewarded with Judgment here. And I mean, I don't know if it makes you feel any better, but with Judgment being next to the Seven of Swords, whoever this person was or whoever these people are, they're getting their karma too. Their karma just looks a lot different than yours. Their karma looks a lot different than yours. Let's just say that. Okay. All right. And for your last two cards here, we have Beehive and we have Focused Vanilla. And it's funny because we were just talking about where your intention flows, energy flows. And so whatever you've been focused on, yes, this is further confirmation that that will be manifesting as a part of this glow up. I also feel like with Focused Vanilla, your priorities are in order. You know, you're aware of what's important to you, and that's really in alignment, I feel like, with the person that you want to be. You know, so I feel like you have your priorities in good order and you're focused on them, and you're not focused on, you know, what anyone else has going on. You're not focused on gossip or drama or, you know, anything from the past. And I feel like that really speaks to the place that you're in your healing journey that we talked about. And I feel like with just the green that I'm seeing there too, you're focused on what makes your heart happy. 100%. And with the Beehive, I feel like this goes back to that message of community, you having a sense of social support, not feeling so alone, because the hive is stronger when the hive is working in tandem to serve, you know, I guess like the queen bee. And in this scenario, you are the queen bee, and everything in your hive, everything about your energy output is going towards supporting those priorities. And you do have that emotional support that you need from the people around you. And, you know, you may be building that social support system one person at a time, but you are building it. You are coming to a place to where you feel like you have good social support. And you feel, I think, more empowered. You know, that queen bee energy, you feel more empowered. Beehive, honey, your life is sweeter, you know, all that good stuff. Okay. All right, that concludes your reading. I hope it resonated. I hope it brought you some comfort. Please consider liking, commenting, sharing, or subscribing. Hitting the notification bell lets you know whenever I upload. The easiest way to support the channel is to watch the ads. I know they can probably be a little bit annoying, but you can always mute them and just have them on in the background. So I really appreciate anyone who does that as well. I also want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has watched the ads already, been a regular viewer, donated on Venmo, tipped with SuperThanks, or just commented or liked a video. It means the world to me and to Miss Gracie, of course. I'm wishing everyone the best as always. Please take care, and I hope to see you in my next reading. welcome to your reading. So we're going to start off with your astro dice and then we'll get into your cards here. We have the 8th house, which is associated with Scorpio. We have Gemini associated with the 3rd house and Mercury. We have Mars associated here with Aries, also Scorpio, and the 1st and the 8th house again if we're talking about Aries and Scorpio. Okay. A lot going on. A lot of messages here. I will say with the 8th house and Mars energy being here, with this glow up, you are letting go of old resentments, any anger that you've been holding on to about the past, whether that was directed at your past self, you know, if you were mad at yourself, if you had regrets about certain choices that you made, or if you were holding on to hurt and resentment and anger towards another person. I see you healing from that. I see you letting it go, moving on. With Gemini here, a lot of messages coming through. I feel like you're able to communicate in a way where you feel like you assert yourself better. You feel like you're able to express better when you're upset in a way where you're not losing control and you're not, you know how sometimes our emotions get so high, whether and crying isn't a bad thing, but if you're crying to the point to where you feel like it's keeping you from being able to express in a clear, concise manner why you're upset, or if you start to yell and then people call you crazy, you know, and they're not really hearing what you're saying, I feel like you're able to manage your anger and express your anger in a healthy, concise, clear way where people get it and people respond and understand better, and you feel like you're able to assert yourself. And you know, for some of you, because Gemini can sometimes talk about wearing a mask, so maybe before you people pleased a lot and you didn't even express when you were angry and you just repressed it, and so that builds resentment too. So you know, if that was something that you used to do, I see you breaking that pattern and starting to speak up in a way where you are able to assert yourself in a healthy, confident way. And I also feel like with Gemini, your mind's working a bit better for you. I don't know if you have been struggling with your memory or you just been feeling really fuzzy, kind of cloudy, maybe just super distracted. Or you feel like you're being pulled in too many different directions, but I feel like you are just kind of improving with your mind. Like your mind is more clear-headed, you're able to recall things more easily, your memory's not so fuzzy. And I think especially if you were people-pleasing before and you were really focused on other people's needs and happiness, this makes it a lot easier for you to get clear-headed, because now I feel like there's more of a focus on what are my needs, what am I wanting, what do I need to get done for myself. I also feel like, and especially with the repeating orange color that I'm seeing with your Witchling cards, and we'll get into your cards in a minute, but I feel like if there were any hang-ups or insecurities or any kind of difficulty related to physical intimacy, and I'm being careful about how I say this, you know, being mindful of YouTube, but any issues around your ability to be physically intimate with someone else is improving, is healing, is getting better. And I know that's a really personal thing, so you know for yourself watching this what that is, and if it's not resonating, leave that message because it is more specific. But if there's been any hang-up, insecurity, difficulty around that, that is healing for you. Or even if you just haven't been physically intimate and you're like, I need more passion in my life, I could see that coming in for you as well if you've been going through a drought. Okay, let's see, any other messages coming through here? I do feel like you're more action oriented, but I think you're smarter about it. I think that yeah, you're taking action where you need to in your life, but you're doing so with a solid plan in place. So I feel like you feel like, yeah, I'm taking action, but I don't feel impulsive about it. I don't feel reckless about it. I do feel like I have a plan in place. I have an idea of what I need to do, what I need to get done. And, you know, I'm sort of being brave about it, you know? Sometimes we have a plan in place and we never put it into action because of fear. And if we start to get into your cards here with the Page of Wands, I feel like you are brave enough to take action. You know, you're not just sitting here with this plan, this idea, and not doing anything with it. So I think that's part of this glow up too, is you taking action where you need to take action. All right, let's go ahead and get into your cards here. We have the Page of Wands. We have the Empress card, we have vitality and courage, we have the Six of Pentacles, we have the Strength card, we have the Seven of Wands, we have write down your goals, dream big, and we have I honor virtue. I will say, I feel like there's a lot of Leo energy in your cards, and I'm surprised it didn't come up in your Astro Dice because I was expecting to see Leo there, but that's okay. But I just feel like with vitality, courage, Page of Wands, we got fire sign energy. With strength, we've got Leo. I really feel like, even with the Empress card, there's so much yellow and gold on that card, which I also associate with Leo because of the sun energy. So I feel like in this glow up, you're really embodying those qualities of Leo, where you are being more sociable, where you are being more independent. However, Leo is independent in the way that Leo still recognizes the need for the pride. And when I say the pride, I mean like a pride of lions. Like they understand, I need my support. I need to be able to strategically use the people in my life to support me. Now, Leo is very generous, so Leo also has that sun energy, the warmth. And so Leo gives back a lot too. But Leo is also very self-focused. And so I think, honestly, you need some of that, especially if you've been a people pleaser in the past. I feel like be in your Leo era, be in your self-focused era, and be unapologetic about it. Self-focused doesn't mean selfish, okay? It just means prioritizing yourself and understanding that you are important and you deserve your own attention. And so I feel like even with the lion having its eyes closed here, you know, it's like, I'm doing me. I'm focused on me. I'm going to be a better me. And I'm not going to do it all alone. You know, I'm going to use my social support when I need it, but I'm focused on me. And especially if you've been a people pleaser, it's time for people in your life to, you know, to help you out too. Okay? But yes, I feel like more energetic, but also there's a lot of balance that's coming into your reading with the Empress card. And so, yes, with Leo energy, you know, we're sociable, we're generous, we're focused on ourselves, we are putting ourselves out there more, we're not afraid of the limelight like we used to be, we're more outspoken, we are just being more of a force, you know, we are really kind of putting ourselves in the spotlight, we are in like main character energy in our own story. We are not relegating ourselves to the sidelines anymore. We're not a footnote in our own story anymore. And so, you know, I think it's taking ownership of that. And Leo energy is really brave, really courageous. So, you know, I feel like you're being more bold in your life. However, like I said, with the balance, with the Empress card here, yeah, we have all of this energy. Yeah, we're making bold, courageous moves. We're doing big things. However, we know when to rest. We know what is within our control, what is not. We know when we need to take action versus when Spirit needs to step in and work its magic. We understand the nature of co-creation. And we understand that things take time. with the Empress card, you think about the time it takes to grow a baby. It's not overnight, it takes time. And sometimes when you stop pushing so hard and you sit back and you let the universe do what it needs to do, then that time doesn't feel like watching paint dry anymore. And it makes sense why you have more energy, because you're being smarter about your energy. The thing with Leo works hard, but Leo works hard in a way that is smart. If you think about cats in general, cats are asleep for most of the day. Cats operate in a way where they have like short bursts of energy. If you've ever played with a dog, dogs tend to like to chase, and they like to be really active during play. If you have only ever played with a dog and then you play with a cat, it's going to be probably really frustrating, because cats stalk their prey. They don't chase the way that dogs do. So a cat is more observant. A cat is a little bit sneakier. A cat watches. And then when the moment is right, they prepare their bodies to pounce, and they're very strategic about it. And in terms of being a predator, the average house cat, if they weren't so small, they'd be deadly. Okay, like they are really good at catching prey. They are great predators. They're just tiny and cute. But that's kind of your energy in this glow up of, I'm working hard, but I'm not working hard for the sake of working hard. I'm working smart. Am I putting in that effort? Yeah, but I'm being strategic about it. I'm not exhausting myself. I'm not running myself ragged, because I know my role. I know my role. I'm not overstepping. I'm not micromanaging spirit. I know my role. And so I think that with less effort, things are coming to you more easily, because you're working smarter, not harder. So it may feel like with the old you before this glow up, like I'm being lazy or I'm being unproductive. You look at a cat sleeping, you're like, man, these cats are lazy, like they sleep all day. But a cat gets everything it needs. It doesn't have to be up all day chasing prey. It's strategic. Even the fact that cats domesticated themselves, like cats were like, hey, we can have a symbiotic relationship. And now they don't even catch mice for us, or you know what I mean, unless they're like a barn cat. Now we take care of them. I mean, they ran game on us, like they were like, I can use my cuteness, my cute tiny little body to weasel my way in, and now I have someone who feeds me and someone who brings me treats and cleans my litter box, and I don't have to do much at all. And so that's kind of your energy in this glow up. Like you are being so much smarter, and you are seeing so much more success in your life with minimal efforts, and you have more time to rest and just kind of luxuriate. I don't know why that word just came to mind. Is that a word? I don't know. But you have more luxury in your life. And the Empress, she's privileged. She is pampered. She is the queen of all queens, sitting on her throne. She is taken care of. And that's kind of what you are creating in your life, a dynamic in your life where you feel taken care of, where things feel easy, where you feel more pampered, where you feel catered to. And maybe this is talking about your love life and you connecting with a partner who financially provides for you, or has a love language that is like acts of service and they just do a lot for you. Or this could be related to your career, like you start a side hustle that becomes passive income. And it's like, I don't have to work so hard, but I'm earning a lot more money. So this could play out in different ways, you know. But with the Six of Pentacles, this is making me think about Nicki Minaj's song Hard White, where she says, like, I used to work twice as hard to get half back, or something like that. Now look at her, like the queen of rap. She doesn't have to work twice as hard as everybody else. In fact, she can put in minimal effort at this point in her career and still do better than some other unknown artist who's still coming up, because she's Nicki. She's that girl. And I think also the Six of Pentacles, you know your worth now, and that's a huge thing. I know what I deserve. I know my worth now. So I'm not accepting breadcrumbs from anybody. You are very much in like a queen or king, royal kind of energy in this glow up. And with the Seven of Wands, it's like, I'm not gonna keep putting in all this effort for nothing. For what? So you're demanding more. I feel like you're demanding more from every area of your life, because I think you're sick and tired. You're sick and tired of the breadcrumbs. This Seven of Wands, I don't know exactly what she has in her hand here, but it makes me think of, if you've ever seen farmers, like where they're going through a field and they have, what's it called? What is that? Like a machete or something? And they're just like hacking away. I don't know, like they're like clearing fields. You can tell I know a ton about agriculture, but you know how they just quickly clear fields and they're just like hacking stuff away? That's kind of like what you're doing in your life. I mean, you're like taking no prisoners. You're like, you know what? This isn't working. It's gotta go. It's gotta go. I think you're just fed up. I think this is a moment of reckoning where you're like, I deserve better. If you're draining my energy, you gotta go. If you're not giving me anything back, you gotta go. See how, like with the Vitality card, how she's standing on top of that star? Like, I deserve to matter in my own life. I cannot be at the bottom of the list. And also, and this is a side message, but if you are wanting to do anything that puts you in the spotlight, anything that gives you a certain level of fame, public recognition, I see success in that area. Okay? So like, for example, if you're trying to develop a social media following, I see you being able to accomplish that during this glow up period. Okay? And any goals that you have written down, anything that you have really kind of focused on, like, I want to achieve this. And I'm talking about like tangible goals, like something where you can like check it off on like a to-do list. I see that coming to fruition for you during this glow up period. So group one had like a message about manifestation, and you can manifest a feeling in your life. Like, I want to feel more hope in my life. I want to feel more love, more joy. With you all, I'm talking about something tangible. Like, you can point and say, hey, I achieved that. Like, I wanted to make enough money to be able to buy a new car. So I'm talking about something tangible. I'm not saying you can't manifest a new car. You can. But I'm saying with your particular reading, we're talking about things that are tangible. What did you want to achieve in your life that's tangible, where you can point to it and say, I have this? That will be coming to fruition during this glow up period. With I honor virtue, look at how fed up she looks on this card. Like, you're tired of the mess. Like, you're tired of people not showing up for you. I really feel like a lot of you have been people pleasers in the past, or you've just dealt with people taking advantage of your kindness, of your generosity, and you're just tired of it, you know? Like, you're like, no more. And I think that you are acknowledging your positive qualities. I feel like You are just so much more confident about your strengths and what you bring to the table. There's this quote that says something like, I've seen it on Pinterest. It's been a couple years, so I may get it wrong, but there's this quote that says, trust and believe I'm not afraid to eat alone because I know what I bring to the table. That's such a powerful message. I am enough. I know what I bring to the table, so I don't need anybody else sitting with me, validating my existence. I am good enough on my own. I'm not gonna sit here and have people in my life who are bad for me just because I don't want to be alone. I understand that being lonely is with people is way worse than just being alone and by myself. And being by myself doesn't have to be lonely because I know what I bring to the table. I enjoy my own company. That's that Leo kind of confidence that's coming through. Now let's get into some smaller messages here. With the Empress card here, also with it being above the Strength card and Leo energy, I feel like beauty-wise, you're looking really good. You're looking really good. With the Empress card, I think about changes to the body because she tends to be pregnant. So a couple of different messages there. For some of you, if you've been wanting to get pregnant, that could be a thing. For others of you, if you have been wanting some kind of body transformation, so anything related to your body that you wanted transformed, I see that happening during this glow up period. Also, specifically for some of you, your hair. You're having a glow up with your hair, whether you're getting a nice haircut, dyeing your hair, growing it out, whatever the case may be, just learning how to style it better. I see that improving, and it could be, your hair is looking shinier, it's got more volume, whatever the case may be, like your curls are behaving, whatever kind of hair texture you have, but your hair is looking great. You have great hair. And for some of you, it could be adding in a hair accessory that you really like. So maybe you're getting into bows or headbands or head clips, or hair clips, not head clips. Hair clips, that could be something as well, or hats. You could be getting into hats. And I pulled these cards yesterday in preparation for today's reading, and I remember when I was looking at the Pastel Journey Tarot, your bottom of the deck was also the Empress card. So that Empress energy is really significant because it really came up twice for you all. So just be mindful of that. That energy is super important in this glow up period. And honestly, I think the Empress card is one of the best cards you can get for a glow up, especially if you've been wanting to get pregnant or if you've been wanting a physical glow up. I think also, like I said, you want to be in an energy where people are doing more for you, which is a really welcome change. If you're used to being the giving person who does everything for everybody else, the Empress card is like a vacation. It's like, yes, finally, like I deserve this. And it's a very comfortable card. I mean, it's like, and if you think about it, because she's always represented by a pregnant, usually she's pregnant, right, with the Empress card. Usually if you're pregnant, you're supposed to be resting. Other people are supposed to be helping you out more. So it makes a lot of sense, right? Like if we're talking about you being a super giving person and you being stuck in that dynamic of being the giver all the time, the Empress card where you're finally receiving and people are giving to you and taking care of you and helping you out, that feels really nice. So I love to see that for you all. All right, group 2, and for your final messages here, we have the Cosmic Child and we have Spiritual Sally. These are really sweet messages to get at the end of your reading here. Your guides are really coming through and saying, listen, please be open to receiving all of the gifts that will come with this glow up. You see how her arms are open here, And it's almost like she's embracing this star, this shining star. Spirit is saying here, please be open, because I do think that there's some things about this glow up that they've kind of held back from us. There are some aspects to this glow up where Spirit still wants to surprise you. I think that there's some parts of this glow up that will really be like a glow up, that will really put you in a spotlight kind of energy. And I think that if they were to reveal everything about it, it may scare you if you're used to being more like a wallflower, you know, stick to the sides of the room, don't like to be center of attention kind of thing. And so it's like, we just want you to embrace this, because you are, it's almost like they're saying like, you're our baby, like you are a child of the divine. And we have chosen you for this. We think you're ready for this, and we want you to embrace every beautiful thing about this glow up. So I think that there are some parts of this glow up that are going to be even bigger and greater than what we talked about. But it's like they want to hold back because either you're not ready to hear it, or because they just want to surprise you, or a little bit of both. Okay. All right, that concludes your reading. I hope it resonated. I hope it brought you some comfort. Please consider liking, commenting, sharing, or subscribing. Hitting the notification bell lets you know whenever I upload. The easiest way to support the channel is to watch the ads. I know they can probably be a little bit annoying, but you can always mute them and just have them on in the background. So I really appreciate anyone who does that as well. I also want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has watched the ads already, been a regular viewer, donated on Venmo, tipped with SuperThanks, or just commented or liked a video. It means the world to me and to Miss Gracie, of course. I'm wishing everyone the best as always. Please take care, and I hope to see you in my next reading.
Pas de soleil, 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 pas de soleil.
Last but not least, welcome to your reading. So we're going to start with your Astro Dice, and then we'll get into your cards. We have the 5th house, which is associated with Leo. We have Cancer energy here, the 4th house, and we have Venus here. And Venus is associated with Taurus and Libra, and really just, you know, feminine energy as well. With part of this glow up, I feel like you are going to be expressing yourself more through your style and your personal aesthetic with the 5th house and creativity. I'm hearing that how you physically present yourself is going to be more in alignment with, and I don't think that you are maybe changing your aesthetic or changing your style completely. But I feel like there may be a style or aesthetic that you've always loved, and maybe it wasn't reflected in your clothes or in your home and in your decor and things like that. And so you're finally kind of starting that process. You know, I feel like you are, or just becoming better at it. You know, you may start being interested in one thing and it sort of evolves over time. And so I feel like there's a change to your home decor, a change to your style, but it's not like I'm dramatically changing what I like. It's more of what I am wearing, what I am decorating my home with. Yes, yes, Tallulah? What? Oh, okay. Okay, yes. Yeah. You only had one breakfast and not three. No. She found a piece of plastic on the floor to play with, so she's done with me. Okay. So I just want to make that clear. It's not like your whole style is changing, your whole aesthetic is changing, but more of your style, your aesthetic is actually reflected in how you creatively express yourself, you know, again, through like home decor, what you wear, all that good stuff. Okay. Also, I feel like you may be taking up a new hobby that is very creative, or you are kind of getting back to a creative hobby that you haven't really had a lot of time to invest in. And so that's part of this glow up, you know, like when we take time to creatively express ourselves, when we find space for creativity in our life, we're happier. And maybe you're sitting here right now not feeling like you are very creative, so you could be discovering that side to yourself, because I feel like so many people have this capacity for creativity and maybe they just haven't found the right medium to express it. And so it could be something like that, where you feel like you're not a creative person, but maybe you feel called to take up pottery, or you feel called to start knitting, or you feel called to start writing short stories, and then you find out you have a real knack for it. So it could be some kind of untapped talent that you haven't even explored yet. With the 5th house as well, I will say if there's anything creatively where you're like, I want to pursue that in a professional capacity. So whether you want it to be your full-time gig or you want it to be a side hustle, an extra stream of income for you, I see you finding success with that. I see that being supported in this glow up period of you making that dream for yourself a tangible reality, okay? With Cancer here, we touched on this a little bit, but I definitely feel like a lot of you will be redecorating your home or just changing your home. You may be moving, you may be relocating, but it's less about, with Cancer, we're talking about changing your home. We're not talking about, oh, I want to travel and go here, go there, go here. I'm talking about moving. So it could be, you know, you're changing apartments, changing houses, could be moving to a new city, new state, new country, whatever resonates. But I see in this glow up period, you moving. And I think the reason why that's coming through in a glow up reading is because when we move somewhere new, that's a big change. And so it asks us when we move, when we relocate, to step up in some ways. You know, if you're moving away from family, you're moving away from your support system, that forces you to be more independent. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You know, you have to get out there and learn where everything is, you know, like where is a good grocery store? Where's a good pharmacy? Where can I get my nails done? Like whatever the case may be, you have to learn where everything is. You have maybe a new culture to navigate. Maybe you have a new language that you have to use or that you have to learn. It could also be that you have to make new friends, you know, you have to make new connections because you are so far away from your support system. or depending upon how big this move is, you know, you may have to culturally adjust to certain things. Even if you don't move to a new country, even if you move to a different part of your country, sometimes different regions can be so different in their customs or just how people are socially that, you know, it's something to adjust to. And, you know, in America, there's certain stereotypes about that, like, oh, sorry, some ice was falling from the fridge. You know, sometimes people say that, oh, people in the Midwest are like really polite or Southern hospitality, whereas, you know, people up north, they are busy and they don't talk to strangers, or they're not as friendly, or, you know, whatever. People say different things. So, or people say like the East Coast is busier, West Coast is more laid back, all kind of different stereotypes, right? So there may just be something where if you move to a different region, certain things you have to adjust to. Now, with Venus, we've already kind of touched on like your style, your aesthetic, beauty, that kind of thing. Like we've already talked about that. But I also want to talk about your love life, because I feel like you're the first group where I'm really seeing a glow up specifically in your love life. And so if you were hoping to get into a new relationship, if you're single, if you were hoping to have that be a part of your glow up where you're like, I'm finally in love, I'm finally in a healthy relationship, or if you're currently in a relationship and you feel like things have been a little bit stagnant, you know, and that happens, you know, in romantic partnerships where there's like a dry spell, the romance is kind of out the door because you've been focused on day-to-day responsibilities, you know, other things have been affecting you, like work, whatever, finances, all that can kind of take away from the romance of a connection. And so I see that getting better. So your love life is improving. And I also feel like you have more self-love. I feel like your relationship with yourself is also improving. Okay, let's go ahead and get into your cards now. And I'm sorry if you all see a lot of jump cuts in your reading. There has been sirens going by, so I've been having to take a lot of pauses. And also my voice is a little bit hoarse this morning, and you're the third group, so I'm having to drink a lot of water too. So I apologize if you see a lot of jump cuts. Okay. We have the Devil card here. We have the Nine of Cups. We have the Eight of Swords. We have the Queen of Cups. So a lot of water sign energy repeating again, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We have prosperity, opportunity, set your intentions with your heart and your soul. And we have I converse with awareness. Okay, group 3. I feel like the biggest obstacle you need to overcome in your life is your own self-doubt, your own fear, your own limiting beliefs here. Because I feel like that Devil card and the Eight of Swords is something that's really affecting you. I mean, the only person really holding yourself back here is you. And I think that you're telling yourself a story that is just old and outdated and not true. And you may be telling yourself negative things about yourself that you have absorbed from your environment. So sometimes we take on other people's negative opinions about us as the truth about ourselves because we keep hearing it over and over again, and like osmosis, eventually that negativity can get through. And, you know, if it comes from your childhood, it may have stuck with you for a while. But we're finally breaking those chains. We're finally being kinder to ourselves. We're finally being aware. With these two cards at the bottom here, I converse with awareness, setting intentions with heart and soul. You're being mindful of how you talk to yourself. You're being mindful of that inner dialogue. You're being mindful of your relationship with yourself and how that affects everything else. And so no wonder your love life is getting better, because your relationship with yourself is getting better. And when you love yourself and accept yourself romantically, you're in a much better position than if you hate yourself, right? And so I really feel like you having this better dynamic with you is positively affecting a lot of areas of your life. So we talked about your love life, but also your professional life with prosperity and opportunity. I feel like you're not being held back anymore by imposter syndrome or just telling yourself, I don't want to fail, so I shouldn't even try, or I can't do that for whatever reason. You're not doing that anymore. And so I think anything you've been wanting to do with your career that you've been too afraid to do, if you want to go back to school, if you want to start your own business, if you want to start a side hustle, if you want to change jobs, if you want to try to get promoted, whatever the case may be, you are doing it in this glow up period. You are finally breaking these chains and having enough self-confidence, enough self-love to say, you know what? I deserve to at least try. And with the 9 of Cups being in the middle here, your wishes are coming true. What you wish for yourself is coming true. With the Queen of Cups, these are things very close to your heart. So in this glow up period, you are finally loving yourself, and because you love yourself, you're starting to make choices that help you to love your life as well. And so it's really beautiful because it's starting with you and it's expanding outward, because the only thing that is stopping you from this wish fulfillment at this time, and I think this is a couple different wishes. I feel like this is a glow up that's going to affect your love life and your professional life. Like those two are the biggest ones that are coming forward. But I feel like, and we've also talked about your creative expression. We talked about hobbies a little bit. We talked about your style, your home a little bit. But I think about when we talk about wish fulfillment, we're talking specifically about your finances, about your career, about your love life. I feel like those are the things where you're like, yeah, I want to see changes. And so I feel like you're getting wish fulfillment in those areas. You're feeling more prosperous. And what does prosperity mean to you? You want more money? You want more stability? You want more love? What's going to make you feel prosperous? And I think that with the 9 of Cups here, it's like one wish coming true leads to more and more wishes coming true. I think it's going to be like a domino effect. I think for y'all, literally, it might be 9 wishes. I think it's going to start with one, and it's a domino effect. So let's say we're talking about your love life, for example. The first wish coming true may be you meeting that partner. But maybe the second wish coming true is that you two move in together. And maybe that involves that relocation we were talking about. Maybe the third wish is that, if we follow like a traditional path here, maybe the third wish is that you get engaged. Fourth wish, you get married. Fifth wish, you start to have a family, or you get a pet together. Or maybe it's that I've always wanted to, travel to Paris. I've always wanted to travel to southern France. I've always wanted to go to, I don't know why France is coming up so much, but any place. You're like, I've always wanted to go there, but I don't want to go alone. I want to go there with someone that I love. I want to go with a romantic partner. And so you've always put it off. But now that you're in a healthy, happy, loving relationship, and you're with somebody who wants to see you happy, or they want to go there too, they travel with you there, and that's a wish realized. Oh wow, like I just traveled to Paris with the love of my life. That's crazy, that's amazing, that's wonderful. So it may be a series of wishes. And it doesn't have to be a big dramatic wish. It could be something simple of like, I wish I had someone to drink my coffee with in the morning. And now you will. Sometimes it's those little moments in life that make us the happiest. So I'm just throwing out examples to give context, but I really think for a lot of you, it's going to be a series of 9 wishes. But it's starting with one wish and kind of just branches out. One wish fulfillment leads to, more wishes being fulfilled. And I know it's a hard message to hear. And I want to speak with compassion, and I want you all to know that it doesn't come from a place of judgment when I say what I'm seeing in your cards with the Devil and the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Cups being sandwiched in the middle, because I think that positioning is really important. That's what's holding you back from that wish fulfillment. You yourself are holding yourself back. Because with the Devil, it talks about what we willingly chain ourselves to. So that's why it talks about addiction or bad habits that we have. For you all, I think it's how you speak to yourself. I think it's referring to self-limiting beliefs for you specifically. Now, maybe it's more than that, but I think for most of you, that's at the core of this. You telling yourself you're stuck. You telling yourself you can't do it. You telling yourself you don't have options. You sort of disempowering yourself is at the root of this. But I have seen the Eight of Swords follow me around, I would say for at least 3 months now, when I pull personal cards for myself. Because I usually at this point only pull monthly predictions, but I would say for like 3 months now, the Eight of Swords keeps coming up for me. And actually, my husband, he has someone at work who reads tarot for him. I don't read tarot for him. And sometimes he'll grab one of my decks and he'll pull cards for himself. He doesn't know how to read tarot, like at the same capacity that I do. He doesn't have an interest in it like I do. But he knows, he has like a rudimentary knowledge of it. And even when he pulls cards, like he pulled cards for me the other day and the Eight of Swords came up again. So I say that just to tell you all that I get it. I understand. It's something that I'm personally working through myself. And so I want to just let you all know it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to feel bad about. And it's one thing to be aware of it. It's another thing to try to figure out, okay, how do I get out of that energy? How am I doing that? Because it's easier said than done to say, okay, I have self-limiting beliefs, let's just get rid of them. A lot of us are taught these self-limiting beliefs from childhood. It runs deep. And sometimes we don't even consciously realize we're doing it, that we hold these beliefs. So it's a process. It's not like an overnight thing. And so, again, like I just want to speak from a place of compassion and let you all know it's not from a place of judgment. I myself am working through this. And so, I don't know, I don't want you guys to feel judged in any way, especially because you have so much positivity here. You have so many wonderful, happy, great things in store for you all. And it's just about overcoming this Devil and this Eight of Swords energy. And you are capable of it, and you will do it, and you will have this glow up. But I think for right now, we have to recognize that hard truth that the Devil and the Eight of Swords is trying to, I think, lovingly tell you. And you're coming through as this Queen of Cups. I mean, the Queen of Cups is such a beautiful, lovely soul. She's so lovely. I mean, she is like the sweetest queen. And so you deserve every bit of happiness that's coming in for you, Group 3. You really, really do. And please know that the universe has your back. Please know Spirit is rooting for you. They wouldn't be kind of getting to the heart of things so quickly. They wouldn't be trying to shine a light on this if they didn't believe in you, if they didn't think you were ready to hear this message. They want to see you succeed. And they want to see you happy. They want to see you prosperous. They want to give you these opportunities. But I think that they want to make sure that when they give you these opportunities, that you don't talk yourself out of your blessings. Because sometimes we do that. Sometimes we're given blessings, opportunities, and we convince ourselves we're not ready for that, so we say no. And we cheat ourselves out of prosperity, success, happiness, joy, fulfillment, because we're too afraid to say yes. And so we want to avoid that. So I think this is a gentle reminder from Spirit to not cheat yourself out of opportunities that come your way. Don't fall prey to that imposter syndrome or that fear of failure, whatever the case may be. Okay, and now we have Echo and Peaceful Penelope. I feel like with both of these cards, Spirit is saying you deserve for your mind, your inner world to be a peaceful sanctuary for you. You deserve to have your mind be at peace, for your mind to be a safe space for you, and not a place of anxiety and worry and fear and just a lot of self-criticism. You don't deserve that. The world is hard and challenging enough. You don't need to beat yourself up on top of it, okay? Or work yourself up into an anxiety frenzy or a negative thought spiral. If you can interrupt that pattern, distract yourself, recognize it when it's happening, don't get upset with yourself, but kind of say, like, I see that this is happening, I'm going to do something to break it, to kind of halt it in its tracks before it gets away from me. And, you know, anxiety is something that really takes active work to cope with, takes a level of mental self-discipline. I think that you can develop over time. And I mean, maybe meditation would help. Maybe just doing something physically active could help. You know, get yourself back into your body, out of your head. Seeking a therapist if you can afford it, if you don't see one already. And with Echo here, I do feel like Spirit has been trying to give you intuitive nudges to encourage you, been giving you sparks of inspiration to encourage you, and then want you to get comfortable with the unknown. They want you to get comfortable with having faith, trying something and not knowing how it's going to work out, having faith in yourself. I feel like you have a lot of faith in the divine, but you miss that connection between having faith in yourself and having faith in the divine. You are connected to the divine, so it's one and the same. So you have to have that faith within yourself, and I feel like that's the missing component here, is you having more confidence and more faith in yourself. And like we always say, what is meant for you will always be there for you. But I mentioned this in another reading, it's potential energy. You still have to take inspired action towards it for it to be realized. And so it requires a leap of faith on your part too. Not just having faith in the universe, but having faith in yourself too. It takes both. But I think, a lot of this is making peace with the unknown, making peace with the future. And you see all the butterflies here, like, let's transform, let's have this glow up. But you have to follow where you're being divinely led, where you're being divinely guided. When you feel a sign is a sign, trust that it's a sign. Don't question it. Don't doubt yourself. I think you're so intuitive, but you doubt yourself so much that you don't trust your own intuitive downloads. So it's like all of that intuition is going to waste because you're not trusting yourself, you're second guessing yourself, you're doubting yourself. Don't doubt your connection to the divine because it's very strong. This little rabbit here only needs to follow the light of the moon. You only need to follow the light of your own heart in the darkness. Follow where your heart is calling you towards, without fear. And if you are afraid in this moment, it's okay. Like we always say, you can be afraid and still do it anyway. So it's okay. But you are being divinely guided here. I didn't do this for the other two groups, but with you all having the Devil card and the Eight of Swords, I felt like you needed a little bit extra support. And so I just wanted to end your reading with some therapist messages because I feel like they're always so sweet and supportive. And yeah, I just feel like you need this little boost. So we have, look at everything you have survived so far. You weren't defeated then, and you won't be defeated now. Look at how far you've come. You've come a long way already, Group 3. You're not going to succeed at everything you try, and that's okay. I feel like that card right there is trying to help you get over this fear of failure. It's so much better to try and to fail and say, okay, that way won't work, or that's not for me, than to sit there in limbo and wonder forever, if I had tried, would I have made it? Sometimes to succeed, we have to fail and fail and fail again. It's part of that process. Success, when you're in the process of it, looks a lot like failure. Because sometimes it takes a while for us to get it right. And we have to make adjustments. We have to make changes. We have to figure out what works and what doesn't. It's a process. And we have everything is scary and you feel vulnerable, but that doesn't mean anything is going to go wrong. Anxious feelings aren't usually indicative of reality. Anxious feelings aren't usually indicative of reality. I knew y'all were struggling with anxiety. I knew it. Yeah. It's okay. Our thoughts are not facts. What you're telling yourself is a false narrative. I think cleaning up your mental space, developing a better relationship with how you speak to yourself, that's going to be a game changer. That's going to be, I think, the first domino, the first step in this whole glow up process. You got this, Group 3. You really, really do. All right, that concludes your reading. I hope it resonated. I hope it brought you some comfort. Please consider liking, commenting, sharing, or subscribing. Hitting the notification bell lets you know whenever I upload. The easiest way to support the channel is to watch the ads. I know they can probably be a little bit annoying, but you can always mute them and just have them on in the background. So I really appreciate anyone who does that as well. I also want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has watched the ads already, been a regular viewer, donated on Venmo, tipped with SuperThanks, or just commented or liked a video. It means the world to me and to Miss Gracie, of course. I'm wishing everyone the best as always. Please take care, and I hope to see you in my next reading.